Last week, Saturday Night Live made fun of Dan Crenshaw because he lost his eye in war. I made a video about it. And I kind of want to clarify my position. I don't think the joke was, I don't know the right way to describe it necessarily. It was in poor taste, right? A lot of people were offended, not because of the joke. They say, oh, you can joke, it's fine, but they're making fun of someone who lost his eye in war, right? He made a sacrifice serving his country. For me, it wasn't even really about the war part. It was about whatever the reason, this dude lost his eye, and Saturday Night Live was mocking him for it. I'm not okay with that. I wouldn't be happy if they mocked anybody who got an injury. Look, I don't even like racist jokes, right? The point is, I think sometimes jokes can be mean-spirited, can go a little too far. I certainly don't agree with arresting people over jokes. That's the thing here. But in possibly one of the best SNL segments I have ever seen, they had Dan Crenshaw come on with Pete Davidson. They shook hands, and it was hilarious. It was an amazing apology. It was an amazing segment. It was an amazing display of forgiveness between two people who, look, honestly, I don't think everybody was that mad about it. There were a lot of people who were kind of offended. Even SNL cast member Kenan Thompson, I think his name was, said the joke went too far. They missed the mark. Because, look, when you've got some people who are saying, listen, man, this Dan Crenshaw sacrificed his eye, you know, in serving the U.S. as a Navy SEAL, that's not cool to mock. For me, it's kind of like, I mean, I agree, but also, you shouldn't make fun of anybody who lost their eye or arm or leg or went through some kind of traumatic experience like that. Some jokes, I think, just not funny. Granted, I think if Pete Davidson wants to make the joke, by all means. I don't think he should be banned. I don't think the hate should be restricted. I just think it's in poor taste. So this segment was awesome. But guess what? As much as we, as normal human beings, can all laugh and say, that was really awesome how they did this, there was an amazing Veterans Day message, the far left is not happy because they won't be satisfied until they completely smear Dan Crenshaw as a white supremacist, which, it's my understanding, he's not. Look, I'm not a big follower of Dan Crenshaw, but I'm pretty sure that's not true. So I want to read through this article a little bit, but the first thing I want to point out, like the point of this video, are tweets like this. This one's from Sean McElwee. Everyone is praising Pete Davidson and SNL for normalizing a white supremacist. He said, inspiring, click here to watch this vet prove that moderating white supremacist forums is okay if you did war stuff. Yeah. No. That's fake news. It's mind-blowing to me. Mind-blowing. Actually, no, it's not at all. This is what the far left does. Everyone's the worst of the worst. You can't just be a regular person. Because as I always say, politics flows in one direction, right? Pete, I'm not going to talk about Pete, but you go and have a meeting with one person. You talk to one person. Even if you debate an actual, like, racist. Doesn't matter. That makes you a racist, period. The only thing you can do is bend the knee and apologize. And what does SNL do? At the end of this segment, Pete Davidson whispers into the ear of Dan Crenshaw, "You're a good man," or something to that effect. Let's read what they had to say. I'll skip to the first paragraph. He says, in an interview after the episode aired, Crenshaw took the high road saying, "I want to get away from the culture where we demand apologies every time someone misspeaks," but added, "It wasn't even funny, it was not original, it was just mean-spirited. Indeed, the joke seemed to exist mostly as a nasty little jolt for the audience, particularly Davidson's tacked-on faux apology about war or whatever. Insult comedy is hardly the noblest subgenre of humor, and it can only really succeed if the audience thinks the target is worth taking down a peg." Right. In Crenshaw's case, outcry quickly spread, and even Davidson's co-star Kenan Thompson, whose father is a military veteran, said the joke had missed the mark. Spot on. I think it's a really good point to be made that when we're talking about, you know, the idea of punching down is often misused by people on the far left. If there's someone like, you know, when we see Serena Williams complaining and saying that she's fighting for him and all that stuff, it's like, come on, dude, you're a millionaire. You know, like, I don't know if you guys remember that story, but she was admonished on the court for her behavior, and a lot of people were crying racist, and I'm like, dude, she's a millionaire, man. Like, listen, I think class substantially more important than race and whatever. I don't want to get into identitarian stuff. I want to talk specifically about Dan Crenshaw is a vet who lost his eye. He's not someone you really want to take down a peg for anything, right? I mean, you can criticize his opinions, and he's ripe as a politician. You should call him out for opinions you disagree with. But to make fun of him because of a disability, you're going too far. You're going too far. Not a joke I want to laugh at. Look, by all means, make the jokes you want to make. It's not illegal. You shouldn't ban it like the people on the left want it banned. But, you know, anyway, they say on last night's episode, the entire affair was handled in classic Saturday Night Live fashion. Crenshaw, who in the intervening week had won the election to Congress, was invited on the show to share the Weekend Update desk with Davidson. And what I'm sure was a huge shock for people who know me, I made a poor choice last week. It was great. It was fantastic how the apology was actually funny. How Davidson really just self-deprecating, but also how at the end, Crenshaw actually said, you know, Pete's dad died saving lives on 9/11, right? And so he was like, you know, respect here, they shake hands. And this photo, I love it. This is Saturday Night Live. They constantly poke fun at Republicans. They make fun of the right. And look, by all means, that's fine. I think it's great. Make fun of people for their opinions and for the silly things they do, and that's what it should be about. And then when they can have a segment where they can come together and shake hands, Crenshaw actually says, thanks for making a Republican look good. It makes me happy that we're actually coming together. Now, let's get on to the fake accusations against Crenshaw, though, because we get it. Like, you know, they had this great segment. You guys can go watch it. It was awesome. I smiled. I laughed. I really enjoyed it. Then you get these people. Angry. No, we can't allow people in America to come together because everyone must be the worst of the worst. And this is what they're referring to. This is from Newsweek. I have no idea why Seth Rich is on here. But it says 5 Republican candidates linked to racist far-right conspiracy Facebook group later removed themselves from the page. This is from August. They say 5 Republican candidates vying for seats in the U.S. House and Senate November's midterms appear to be current or former administrators of a far-right Facebook group and has pushed that has pushed debunked conspiracy theories and made racially charged posts about Muslims and black people. The Facebook group Tea Party has nearly 95,000 members. Its description reads, please add your friends to the oldest and largest Tea Party group on Facebook. We proudly stand with President Trump and his America First agenda. They say the group has a history of pushing far-right conspiracy theories, such as Pizzagate. We know what Pizzagate is. Last year's Unite the Right rally, yada yada, Seth Rich conspiracy, that's probably why he's featured here. The group has also made posts and comments claiming Islam is a cancer and labeled Black Lives Matter as black supremacy. Wow. Media Matters for America was the first to uncover the GOP candidates' alleged involvement with the group. Screenshots posted by Media Matters and old posts within the group document the content that has been posted within the past few years. The 5 candidates were Dan Crenshaw, Danny Tarkanian, Corey Stewart, then we have Matt Rosendale, Patrick Morrissey, yada yada. Since the original story by Media Matters was published Thursday afternoon, Tarkanian, Rosendale, Morrissey no longer appear as administrators. Stewart and Crenshaw remained as of Friday morning. Crenshaw, who is a group administrator as of Friday morning, has shared 2 of his campaign videos to the group on July 29 and August 13. Other group administrators have shared his campaign website. In a statement in Newsweek, Crenshaw claimed he has never actively managed or interacted with that page. They contacted me once and said they'd sign me up as an admin in case I ever wanted to post, said Crenshaw, who removed himself from the group after Newsweek contacted him. I quickly forgot about the page and never saw it again. How exactly is this news? Exactly. That is the evidence they're using to smear Dan Crenshaw. After this amazing, heartfelt gesture of left and right coming together, shaking hands and saying Veterans Day, it's awesome, we're all cool, everybody's laughing, we're having a good time, this is about America coming together, but the far left will not have it. They're saying that Crenshaw is a white supremacist. Why? Because someone added him to a Facebook group. For the longest time, I don't know if you can still do it, like I'm a member of probably like 1,000 different groups on Facebook because people just add me and I can't do anything about it. And I've tried to go in and remove myself from pages and groups. You have to do it manually, one at a time. And this is a huge issue for people with big followings, and that's, you're going to get that with someone running for Congress. Dan Crenshaw was probably added. He didn't know what it was. It said it was a Tea Party group, and he was probably like, sure, whatever. And then people in the group are going to post whatever they want. It's also mind-numbing. It's also so annoying. The idea that because other people posted in a group that he was in, that somehow relates to him. You kidding me? Like, okay, so let's take a look at what happened with Tucker Carlson the other day, right? The activists who showed up to his house, I don't even want to call them activists, they were like mobbing his house, threatening him. Everybody agrees, except for the activists who are being investigated for hate crime. Somebody spray paints the driveway with the anarchy symbol. And according to these activists who wrote about it, they said, oh, well, you know, we didn't like that he did that, and we were saying we didn't sign up for that. Okay, sure. Then how are you going to get mad at Dan Crenshaw because someone else showed up to your group and posted some racist nonsense? How is that his fault? Apparently, all he ever shared was a couple posts about his campaign. But this is what I talk about when I say politics flows in one direction. Rules for thee and not for me, right? You have to bend the knee to the left in every regard, otherwise you are far right. You can go and talk to someone like Crenshaw. They can have him on the show and apologize for making fun of his eye and shake his hand, and it's great, and they say it's normalizing white supremacy. Yep. You know, I just feel like this inspires me. Saturday Night Live, what they did was awesome. I'm not a huge fan of the show because I think the jokes they often fall flat. You know, it's like, what does Saturday Night Live do is they just pull something that happened in the news and then recreate it in a silly way. Yeah, it's not really a joke. I mean, haha, we're laughing because I saw that in the news. Yeah, okay. But this was a really great segment, right? I think Pete Davidson has amazing delivery. And even the first joke he made about the porno and Hitman, whatever, I thought was delivered really well. I'm like, oh, the guy can deliver a funny line. But man, I just don't like the idea of mocking somebody who lost their eye, who went through any kind of experience. And then I see this and I'm like, this is fantastic. And then I see what I would consider to be some kind of infection in American society. These people who will do everything within their power to make sure we cannot come together. This, in my opinion, is what evil looks like. Dan Crenshaw, even according to this story, never posted anything crazy. Saturday Night Live, amazing, amazing moment, and the far left still saying, you are the worst of the worst, and division must be pursued at all costs. Yeah, you know what? Not for me, man. This is the image I'm going to remember from this moment. I'm going to ignore the crazies and say when it comes to the mainstream left, they will absolutely reach out and shake the hand of the mainstream right, and the crazies are crazy. And this is, I got another video coming up, and this is where it gets even better. Sally Cohn wrote an op-ed calling out Antifa, disavowing the fringe group and their violence, and it's about damn time. And it's inspiring to see, finally, Democrats and people on the left shaking the hands of people like Dan Crenshaw and calling out Antifa. Makes me feel hope, because I think everything's getting crazy. But stick around, that video is coming up in just a few minutes. Antifa being disavowed on CNN by Sally Cohn.